What's going on, y'all? Podcast 167. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Wednesday, August 19th. And it's about 7:11 in the morning. We're off to work. Hope everyone's having a good week, though. I got a new album dropping this Friday. View from the Moon Room. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. It's a lot of like boom bap beats, a lot of rap bars. It's mainly just a ton of verses. I like these type of projects because I feel like I can express myself a little bit more, and I'm not so like confined, which is nice. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens, baby. It's the third project we've dropped this year. We're just staying consistent releases, and that's really kind of been the theme, more or less, for my whole career. Really, just trying to stay consistent, keep it moving forward. Always have something to look forward to, something exciting. Yeah, man. Getting stuck in some traffic. Now that school is back, it's definitely it's been a little messy. Yeah, man. Something to look forward to, something exciting, something that keeps your mind forward focused. And I'm not saying, to not live in the moment, to not be present. But what I am saying is that I think it's healthy to have something exciting that you're looking forward to in life. I think that, if you just let life just tick on by and you're never excited about anything, you're never really looking forward to something, you're never having fun, I think it can create a ton of burnout in your life. And I've been there. So I think you should always have something that you're looking forward to. And it doesn't have to be a big grandiose trip. It doesn't have to be something huge, but it can be something small enough that you recognize it as something that's bringing you joy and excitement. Life is too short to not be excited for it. Life is too short to just keep letting it pass on by and not really looking forward to living it. And I know I talked about in the last episode, the value of playing over living. I really do I believe that. I think that if we remove the word live from our vocab and just start saying play, what would that do to change the way we see things? What would that do to change the way that we maneuver our life? It's having a childlike wonder to just be in the moment, just play. And I think my generation really got the best of it. Pre-internet, we used to be able to ride our bikes down the street. We would walk to friends' houses. And we weren't buried in our phones. We weren't buried in our tablets and all this shit. Yeah, we might have played some video games, but I felt like the video games weren't as addicting as they are now. So, a solid 30 minutes to an hour was plenty. And, we're off to bigger and better things. But, I feel like as a parent, I want my kids to experience the joys of play, So I'm real strict about her being on a phone or a tablet. There's times and places for it. I get it. I understand. But that's not going to be my first, go-to instinct, is just throw my kid my phone and just let her just be buried in my phone for the night. I want her to go play. Let's go play outside. Let's go in your room. You got toys you can play with. Let's go draw. Let's go color. Let's do things that are productive, really. And I think when you just throw your kid your tablet or your phone, you're robbing them of what it means to really live. And I say live like that because I want to remove that word and enter play. You're robbing your kids the chance to play. So yeah, man, I just I don't want to keep beating on that, but that has been something that's been on my mind recently. And I will say, we do have a trip coming up. We leave on Friday. And, obviously that is kind of like a big grandiose thing to be excited for. But, how many times do we get to go on trips? There's only so many times. So it's important to be excited for it. It's important to really look forward to it. And you never know. I mean, maybe this will be the last one, maybe not. But I hope not. But you never know. So it's important to be excited for it, man. Now, I will say, don't let the excitement of life overtake your being, because I think there's a healthy balance. If you're so excited for life that you're just always anxious and on edge, and you're not really living in the present moment, and you're not finding the excitement for today, I think that can be unhealthy. So if you do have something big and grandiose ahead of you, like a vacation, be excited for it, but at the same time, find excitement for today. My wife and I, we were talking about that this week, and she pretty much was like, we got a week of work left, but we could still make it fun. We could still find something to be excited for this week. And we have. Monday we went to my parents' house. Last night we went to her parents' house. Tonight I was kind of thinking about taking my kid to the park. My wife is hitting the gym. Tomorrow we got a Reds game. And we got Nora's soccer practice. So these are things that we can be excited for. In the days leading up to the grandiose trip. So yeah, man. Find something to be excited about. It doesn't have to be big. It could be a movie that you watch. It could be an album that you listen to. It can be, maybe you're going to go try out a new park to walk in. Maybe it's a new food that you're about to try. That's exciting. Maybe it's a new restaurant. Maybe it's an event that you have been looking forward to. Maybe it's a concert. Maybe it's a game. Maybe it's a game that you're about to watch on TV, you know? There's nothing wrong with being excited about that. Maybe it's time with your family at the end of the night, you know, not doing anything, but just kind of hanging out. Maybe you're excited for a good night's rest. So find something, man, that's gonna excite you enough to keep moving forward. You know, I always talk about, you know, the pressures of life are always trying to like bring us down and smush us, you know, like bugs. But it's that drive that keeps you moving forward. It's your drive. You know, so you gotta tap in, man. Tap into something. You know? And if excitement for something in life is something that you can hang on to that's gonna keep you moving forward, tap into your drive. Why not? Why not? You know? There's a laundry list of things that we can use to help us keep moving forward. But sometimes I think it's like as simple as just having something excited. You know, having something that you're excited about. Yeah, man. But don't forget, too, the joy is in the process. The joy is in the journey. You know? You don't want to get so overly attached to what's about to be that you forget to be where you're at now. You know? Does that make sense? You know, I don't want to be so excited about this vacation coming up that, again, you know, I'm just like, that's all I'm worried about. I don't really care about, you know, I'm just going through the motions. So I don't know another way to say that, but I just felt like I had to get that out. I've been judging myself recently for some reason of like, you know, I'm not, you know, who's going to listen to this shit? It's just a guy rambling. You know, it's just some random guy that's popping up on your feed, rambling into a phone. You know, and I'm not the most well-versed. You know, I don't use proper language at all times. But my heart means well, man. I'm not trying to like preach at people. Really, I'm trying to preach at myself. You know, I need to hear this shit. I need to hear it for me. And if it helps somebody like my daughter or a friend or a family member or whatever, if it helps somebody get inspired to keep moving forward, man, that's what it's all about. You know, it's not always about like how you say things. You know, what proper language did you use? Did you say it the right way? Sometimes I think it's more about where it's coming from. And I always want what I'm speaking to come from my heart. You know, if it's not coming from the heart, it really shouldn't be coming out of my mouth. We can complain until we're blue in the face, but man, what's that say about your heart? I want to make sure my words are backed with love, purpose, and meaning. And I hope that does that. I hope I accomplish that, with these videos, with the messages that I try to bring. I'm not anybody crazy. I'm not anybody like, I'm not famous. I'm not, overly special or anything like that. I'm just a man. I'm just a man out here trying to figure it out, for my family and for myself. And, this is my way of trying to figure it out. It's nice to be able to kind of talk about it out loud. Sometimes we don't get the chance to talk to another person and sit down with them and conversate. When we do, we need to really kind of take advantage of it, because that's a special moment. But when we don't, I feel like it's important to get these thoughts out in any way that you can. This is just my way of doing it. This and making music and doing my art. You got to find ways that work for you. So I'll leave it there. I feel like I kind of said enough. But yeah, man, new album this Friday, View from the Moon Room. It's one I've been working on pretty much all year. Definitely excited about it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And if we talk again this week, probably won't be until a little bit later, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Find something to be excited about. And go play. Go play your life. So, much love. We'll talk soon. Peace.